And I know that's a big thing for you. You like to go beyond the physical body in understanding what's going on with your patients and really address that emotional, the trauma, the purpose things, which are the spiritual. How do you incorporate that to, I don't know about your population of patients, but the population overall don't see that as medicine. So do you get that you get patients that are just totally open to it, or do you have to process, them and educate them as to this type of medicine that you're doing?
Yeah, I think patients who stay with me for years would say this. It's a journey. So we
Yes.
start with the more physical. They come in because very common, a gut complaint, or they have no energy, or they just don't feel like they used to. When they were younger, they wake up in the morning, they're like, who am I? What am I? What is this? And I say, well, the good news is that our bodies can, I don't even like to say age, they can transform healthfully. We can get to a state of balance. So I will kind of feel into the physical first because there often are issues going on. I think we've talked about this. With gut issues, our gut immune systems just aren't what they used to be. We don't live in small villages anymore where they're babies eating dirt all the time. We don't have this vast microbiome or internal ecosystem that's as strong necessarily to handle but we get bombarded by it every day in the food we eat. From toxins to parasites are really common now. They weren't,
Mm,
I think, and we've had parasites forever, but I think the quantity and how many I'm seeing
agreed.
now is a lot. And so the point being, there's a lot we can treat and people can see that they're getting a little bit better. And just doing that kind of self work of saying, I want to take care of my body. And as you know, with a more holistic, integrative, biological, functional approach, however we want to call it, more alternative medicine, it's a process. You can't just take a pill and fix it. It's a process. Like I tell people, we have to detox the gut too. We have to tune into how the gut is feeling emotionally. A lot of emotions are stored there. There's so many layers of healing and nutrition and lifestyle to get it better. And then I think sometimes once we're at that point where people are starting to feel better, then they're starting to interestingly say, I'm noticing too, my nervous system is out of balance. I'm having the emotions I have. And then often I can weave into, well, some of this, yeah, we can take care of on the more material level there's wonderful supplements now. There's wonderful molecules out there like NAD and there are peptides. There's all kinds of things that we can do to support it. But if we're not dealing with some of the underlying emotional, some of it's trauma, some of it's honestly lineage, ancestral.
Right.
I'm noticing with my children when I do energy medicine on them at night, when their best time is when they're falling asleep, so they're not moving. I've been getting these messages of their core emotions that I can tell some of them are from the family, some are part of who they are. And unfortunately, there's positive ones too, but the ones that we would consider more negative, I don't want to necessarily use that term, but and that's like maybe some of their life work and how do we work through that? So I'm able to kind of slowly work this all in step by step. I eventually say, hey, why don't we do a little bit biofield balancing, a little energy medicine, and the interesting thing is once I get patients into that, they seem to really want to come back very regularly for that. And then
Mhm.
sometimes start spacing out their alternative medicine visits and lab tests and all that, which is quite lovely.